Hi, welcome to another edition of Onside SA, our soccer show. We're in our temporary studio at the moment because we're going green downstairs and they're doing up a wonderful new studio for us. So Winning Ways and Onside SA will be filmed here until they're finished down below. And Budge, let's talk about last one standing.
Yep.
50 odd left.
59 left, commences this week. Several boys have sent me their picks already.
So several boys have used the top teams that have stayed
Most of them have used, top two, Spurs and Man City. Those have been the best two picks. I think a lot of people will be on United this week.
Who have they got?
Newcastle at home.
Yeah, a lot of people who haven't used United, yeah, that's right. They could be streaming on. But let's go. We're going to be obviously speaking to Stevie B, our pundit. There were some great international football matches, some heartbreak for some teams, and Italy not going there now.
Oh, geez, the guy got fired already, so don't blame them.
Yeah.
They can't score in 2 games. But I had a look at their team, Paul. They had 3 Juventus players, the two centre-halves and the goalkeeper. The guy that hasn't scored, I think, about 8 games for Southampton, way up front. He hasn't scored. Gabbiadini. He was up front for them. When you have a look at the team, it's not a good team, Paul.
Yeah,
No.
it shows. They didn't get through.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper's record for his country will never be broken.
Brilliant.
All right, well, it's time to talk to our pundit. Stevie B is over in the UK. Stevie, can you hear us?
I can, loud and clear. Morning.
Excellent. Morning, Stevie. Firstly, we're going to talk quickly about your beloved England, their goalless draw with Brazil.
Sure. Well, 2 goalless draws.
Two of them, yeah.
Last Friday against Germany and then repeated the same against Brazil.
What do they look like?
I think they played better, a lot more shape on Friday against Germany. I think the Brazil game, if you look at the result, I think it was a creditable result, but I think the performance lacked quite a bit. I mean, Brazil looked almost as if it was like an exhibition game for them. They could have stepped up a gear at any time. But England sort of dug in. A lot of changes. I mean, the team that played and the team that played against Germany won't necessarily, maybe just a handful of those players one assumes will start for England's first World Cup game.
Steve, do you think Livermore and Dyer will start in the World Cup, midfield players?
It is hard to tell. I mean, it's I can understand Gareth Southgate. He wanted some new players. A lot of players are pulled out by their clubs, which I think was disappointing because there were sort of 80,000 plus crowds for both of the games. They want to see the best players play against 2 of the best teams in the world. So I think that was disappointing.
Okay, I must say I wasn't impressed with Dyer in the second game against Brazil. He gave the ball away the whole time, but it's a bit difficult when you've got more players behind you than in front of you. How impressed were you with Loftus-Cheek?
I thought he had an exceptional game against Germany. Really played well. Whether or not the Brazil game was probably a game too much for him, he seemed to struggle a bit. He obviously went off injured, but he couldn't get. He really couldn't get near the ball against Brazil. But he had a very good game against Germany. I think he did his sort of chances of sort of getting into Southgate's squad for in the next couple of friendlies. I think no harm.
Yeah. Do you think that's how he's going to set up the 3-5-2, the 3 centre halves?
It's certainly making them sort of harder to beat.
Yeah.
I think just got to get the right players. So that John Stones probably had a couple of his better performances for England. He looked very assured, and I think they looked as if they wanted to try and play the ball out from the back, and it worked quite well against Germany. Brazil, though, obviously had watched and knew how to sort of close down, and far too many times Joe Hart was left with no options other than to keep the ball long. And then the ball just kept coming back. So I think they need to work on that if they want to sort of play from the back.
Yeah. Do you think British football's in trouble as far as the international sides go? I see only England qualified for the finals.
Yeah, I think ultimately what's disappointing after sort of the Euros and the good performance of Wales and Northern Ireland. I mean, ultimately, I think it's when you look at it now, it's disappointing to the home nations that Northern Ireland sort of got so close. Wales and the Republic themselves, pretty much humiliated in Dublin the other night.
Yeah. You think there's just a lack of quality British players floating around?
Well, I mean, if you look, to be fair to say a team like Northern Ireland, they primarily, half their players probably come from the Championship.
Yeah.
But they played really well as a team. But I think it's the same old story as you get if you look at most Premiership teams. There are that very few home nations players play on a regular basis, sort of week in, week out. So, and the same argument could be sort of levelled at someone like Italy, and who obviously who've obviously struggled.
Steve, championship back into action, and we're starting to get a little bit of a pattern.
Two rounds of fixtures. So this weekend and next Tuesday, Wednesday. So opportunities for the teams at the top to pull away. I think, looking at the fixtures.
How about your beloved Fulham?
Well, they got a tough game. They're in the early evening game on Saturday, home to Derby, and then Tuesday away to Sheffield United.
Oof.
So hard to predict. Us winning in either of those games. It'd be nice to try and pinch something, but if we got a couple of draws, I think, and show a slightly sort of bit more fight than they have in recent weeks, then I'd be pleased with that.
Yeah. Steve, one team that seems to be struggling lately is Leeds United. They've lost 7 of the last 9, 6 of the last 7. Middlesbrough, big game for both teams.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to be a time in Middlesbrough. We spoke about them a few weeks ago, and they seem to be underperforming. But since then, they've come strong, and they're on a bit of a run. I think that's the game, the big game on Sunday, live on TV here, and I think that'd be a good game. I think if Middlesbrough win that, I think Leeds are just sort of dropping sort of very quickly at the moment.
Yeah, and the shambles at Sunderland. Any chance of that aborting manager-wise?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, reading the papers over the last few days, they don't seem to be any talk about who's going to go there. They seem to be taking their time. I mean, as you say, the shambles, they still haven't won at home a league game since December. They play Millwall.
Who haven't won away, so this is their chance.
They have an opportunity there, but they have to start winning soon. Otherwise, they could be falling away at the bottom.
Yeah.
All right, Stevie, that's excellent. So we've got a bit of news in, and we will be staying in touch. Keep grinding out some info for us, but the championship is starting to look like it's taking shape now.
Absolutely. Nice talking to you, Bo.
All right. Cheers, Stevie. Thanks very much. There we go. Stevie V, our pundit, finger on the pulse here, especially with the championship. His beloved's Fulham there, but just talking about England, you watch the games, and do you agree with him?
Yeah, no doubt. So I think playing these South American teams, they're all possession-based teams. And, Germany backed off. There's several players that played in England, Mane, they didn't want to get in tackles. Yeah. Where Brazil are there, that coach Tite, he takes no nonsense. And they've got a big squad. They're all trying to get in the
quality.
Team. And, I think they're the team to beat in the World Cup.
They always are. It's like rugby. New Zealand start favourites. Right, let's have a look at the World Cup qualifiers because, as we all know, was it Friday? We knew our fate. We got beat again.
Yeah.
A slightly better performance, I thought.
Yeah, Paul, the difference between the two teams is just the last third. Mane gets the ball, through ball, the centre-half's dreaming, Saka, West Ham scores. I thought we played quite well.
Yeah, so did I.
Just haven't got the players, Paul.
Yeah, where are the great strikers of yesteryear? We played with, the George Durnleys and...
Shane McGregor.
Shane McGregor, Benny McCarthy. Where are they? What about Calvin Peterson? Where these were great strikers. I mean, Parker was a good player. Yeah. Parker was a good striker. But at the moment... Bartlett, excellent. It's just we're struggling, eh?
Yeah, big time.
But okay, so South Africa lost again on Friday to Senegal. Tuesday 2-1 to Senegal. They're gone. Yeah. The South African African qualifiers?
Yeah, there's only 5 teams through. So
Tunisia, Nigeria, Morocco, Senegal, Egypt. Who's the best?
I like Senegal. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, they got players.
Keep Mane sound?
Yeah, well, he broke down again reportedly. Yeah. So the Liverpool fans tell me.
Yeah, they would. All right, then there were some very interesting ones in Europe, But, you and Steve touched on it. I've just got the squad that, was it Northern Ireland?
Republic of Ireland, that's their team.
Now, Republic of Ireland, if you look at this team, I'd read this team out. People would say, "Oh well, who are they? They're playing Wigton next week." It's just no big names. I can't believe it. Darren Randolph, Shane Ward, Kieran Clark. Shane Duffy, Cyrus Christie, David Miller, Harry. I can't even read his name. Looks like
Harry Arter from
Harry Arter. Yeah, James McLean, I do know.
West Brom on the bench.
Brady, but look at the teams they've come from. Brighton, Burnley, Middlesbrough, Hull. And these guys are...
how they got there, Paul, is a testament to Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane.
Yeah.
years ago, I went to the 94 World Cup and you had to look at that team. They had Keane, they had McGrath, they had players.
Would any of these guys get into top 6 sides in the Premier League?
Well, you have a look at the teams,
Yeah.
No.
But I'm just saying, you can't pick out one and say, well, he'll play for Man City.
No.
So amazing job, but they had to go, eh?
Stiff.
And then let's just finish up on the World Cup qualifiers for Europe. Budge, Switzerland beat Northern
Yeah,
Ireland.
the dodgy penalty, Paul, cost them, but better team over the 2 legs, according to the report.
Croatia, too good for Greece.
Yeah, good team, Croatia.
I thought Sweden,
They
they
result of all time, Paul.
So, but Italy now, first time in, 60 years or something?
Of all the teams, Brazil have qualified for 20, and they were second on 18, them and Germany, never qualified. But looking at the team, when you had a look at the team log, I thought, hang on, it's not like Sweden have got any good players, all disrespect, but you expect the Italians to win.
No real class
Nothing whatsoever.
And then Denmark, where my man Eriksen was on form.
He scored a hat-trick, Paul. Some of the goals he scored were superb.
Yeah, he's a very good player.
Quality player.
Okay, now intercontinental, I'll get that right, intercontinental World Cup qualifiers. Yeah. Great for Australia.
Brilliant. Well, there was 0-0 the first leg in Honduras. That thug, or whatever you want to call it, midfield in force, left Crystal Palace, he's gone to Aston Villa.
The bearded boy.
Miles Jedinak, he scored a hat-trick. So Honduras scored injury time to make it 3-1, but good luck to the Aussies.
And the Kiwis not good enough. Peru too good.
Peru a good team. The only team that's beat them in the last 10 is Brazil. Good team, Peru.
Good team, yeah. And then, so 14 teams out of Europe. This is the balance. 5 out of Africa, 5 out of South America. That's a great
it's only 5 out of 10,
Asia 5 and Central America 3.
Yep.
So that's it, 24 and 8.
32 teams.
32 teams. And then they've seeded them.
Yeah.
They've seeded 1. If you can,
the main teams.
The main teams, Russia, home team.
Home team.
Germany, Brazil, Portugal, Argentina, Belgium, Poland, France. Rightly so.
Well, Poland's a question mark, but they've been doing well recent tournaments. They've got a good record.
Is that Lewandowski?
That's Lewandowski's team, yeah.
And then the second seeds who get a good draw, Spain, who've been champions, Peru, Switzerland, England, Colombia, Croatia, Mexico, and Uruguay. It's going to be great, Budge.
Brilliant, yeah.
Going to be great. Okay. Premiership news. What's the story? Jurgen Klopp was over in South Africa.
Last week. I don't know if it was a biltong or what got him, but Wednesday morning, admitted himself in the hospital for tests. Yeah. So he didn't stay overnight.
How many of these guys, we've had Big Sam was taken to hospital, Benitez was taken to hospital.
It's just pressure, Paul.
Pressure, incredible pressure, Budge.
You've seen that cyclist, for over a year they've been waiting at his door saying he's corrupt, testing positives and that. Meanwhile, he's been cleared. But now the press just...
it's gutter press too,
joke,
And Man City, we're just talking about Man City, top side in England, there's no doubt. 10 years ago, their revolution started.
10 years. Well, you've got the price. Robinho was the first person they bought, the Brazilian winger. £32 million they paid
in
then.
those days, 10
and
years
he's on
ago.
160 a week. So if you've got money, Paul, eventually it has to work.
It's happened with what's the boy's name who came into Chelsea?
Yeah.
Him, he came. Abramovich came with big money, and Man City.
You keep buying quality. It's like horse racing, Paul.
Yeah.
You keep buying the bigger horses. Yeah. Eventually, it has to.
It comes through.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just looking at some stats, Budge, I thought we should mention about Mourinho. Mourinho's top 7 players that he sold. And I want people to look at this. These are the players he got rid of.
Yeah.
Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Juan Mata, which he got back. Arjen Robben.
Yeah.
He dumped Arjen Robben. Lukaku, which he's got back. Ibrahimovic, which he's got back. Bonucci. Bonucci and Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, well, 4 of them were at Inter Milan when he was there, when they won the Champions League, so he moved a few of them on. But a lot of young players other than Juan Mata.
He gets rid of them. He's not too big on the young guys. Eh?
Well, De Bruyne really didn't perform at Chelsea, neither did Lukaku.
Give him a chance, but then he was German Player of the Year next year.
Yeah, he was at Wolfsburg.
Yeah, German Player of the Year next year. Okay, let's go to English Premier League. Great start to the derby. Local derby. Arsenal, Spurs, tough game.
Yeah, always will be, Paul. Bitterness between the fans. I like Tottenham are the 2 teams.
They're playing better football.
But Arsenal and Wenger, every time he's under pressure, it tends to get a result.
Yeah.
I think a draw, big player here.
Yeah, big player. But his defence. A lot of teams have gone there and put 3 past them at home.
But he'll play with the 3 centre halves. That seems to be the way. I thought they played well against Man City.
Yeah, they were.
They got beat 3-1, but they were competitive. Paul, form goes out the window in this game.
Yeah, it's a derby. Yeah, Spurs.
The Spurs are the 2 teams for me, but I think a draw, a big player.
Bournemouth.
Last game they beat Newcastle away. But it's just at home, Paul. These teams go to
Vitality
Stadium and it's a narrow pitch. But, Huddersfield give nothing away.
Yeah.
This is a tight game, Paul.
Tight game.
Bournemouth, the better team,
Bournemouth
obviously.
nearly held off Man City. It was the 96th minute.
Huddersfield haven't scored a goal in weeks. I think it's last 4 games they haven't scored a goal.
Wow.
But this is a big game for them.
Big
They
game.
can avoid defeat. Pressurised
Burnley
game.
floating along in 7th.
Yeah, cruising along. It's just at home. They don't seem to score many goals at home. They've
Yeah.
only scored 3 goals at home. But you got to fancy Burnley. Swansea are struggling.
Now, the boss there, his name's been linked to a few jobs.
Sean Dyche, well, he's the Everton guy, but I think the Everton fans want a bigger name.
Phew. How do you prove yourself after what he's done with
sure.
Burnley? Palace played well against Spurs.
I think Palace will destroy Everton. I know you got lucky with Everton in the
Very
last one
lucky,
standing. The guy scores the penalty. Tom Cleverley, it's 3-3. I just can't see Crystal
Thank
Palace
goodness
not winning.
I don't have to pick Everton anymore. Yeah, they're rubbish.
Crystal
then
Palace 14-10 is a good bet in my.
Man City too good for Leicester.
They should be, but Aguero, pulled up
question
lame
mark.
at half time. Gabriel Jesus got a knock against England, but Leicester will give them problems. I think there's plenty of goals, but the way Man City are going.
They score goals against everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, let's look at the next page because it's always very interesting. Liverpool, good side of
Well,
Don't
should
concede.
win. This is their bogey team. They've only won one of the last 7 meetings with Southampton, but the way Southampton play, it's just terrible. The fans aren't happy.
No.
You'd expect Liverpool, if they score early, should win easy. But
Easy. Don't want Southampton to score first if you're a Liverpool fan. But 4-10 short.
yeah.
West Brom at home. Chelsea too good for them
West
or
Brom
not?
haven't won in 9, so it's time that
They haven't won in 9.
Haven't won in 9.
But they've drawn and lost.
Yeah, they've won. I think 1-4, drawn 5. Chelsea. You just never know with Chelsea these days. Hazard never played in the international game on Tuesday, so maybe he was rested. But you got to fancy Chelsea are the 2 teams. But West Brom won't be easy.
No, Chelsea are good side. They just come away from beating United.
Yep.
Okay, then the next game we got is United.
Well, he's got to
10.
open the gates here, Paul. Got to have a full go.
Newcastle United haven't the class to beat Man
No.
United.
And Lascelles is out, their best player, the guy at the back.
Yeah,
So it
good
should be a
player.
comfortable victory.
Watford, a good side too.
Watford have lost the last couple, but they shouldn't have lost to Chelsea. They shouldn't have lost to Everton last
Should
week.
never have lost to Chelsea,
West
yeah.
Ham, David Moyes' first game. Be interesting to see what he does. I expect goals there, Paul.
Yeah, so would I.
Chicharito pulled a hamstring, so Andy Carroll should start.
Yeah.
Get the ball in the box. And there's goals in there. Watford are the 2 teams, but any result
Is Troy
possible
Deeney
there.
suspended?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still suspended. Okay, let's have a look at Brighton, who are doing remarkably well, Budge.
Done great the last. At home's
Are
going to be
they
there.
8th in the log?
Yep.
Gee.
Going
the
great.
Seagulls.
But Seagulls, yeah.
I remember watching them play Spurs one day, and not Spurs, Arsenal one day.
Okay.
And the whole Arsenal crowd was saying, seaweed, seaweed.
No.
The Seagulls.
He's done a good job, your man, Chris Hughton.
Yeah.
Avoiding defeat will be a good result here. Stoke are one of those funny teams.
Jeez, you just can't predict
Just
that.
can't predict them. But, Brighton give nothing away. Unbeaten the last 4 at home. Expect them to get at least a draw there.
He must be very good, Houghton.
No, I
Wherever
think the
he's
players
gone.
respect him. The
Yeah.
fans respect him. He's a good club manager.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, now let's go on to Telkom.
Yeah.
Right, we've got the knockout semi-finals. Budge and Bidvest, are they starting to turn their season?
Well, yes and no. They beat Baraka in the last round, so you'd expect them. But Chiefs have always been a good cup team. I think they've got the betting the wrong way around here. 22-10 Chiefs. We've gone win and draw Chiefs. I think that obviously semi-finals, Paul, all tight games.
Yeah.
But I just.
So there's going to be an unfashionable side in the final.
Well, which is good, Paul.
Yeah.
Polokwane, Bloom Celtic. I like Bloom Celtic are the 2 teams.
Big price.
Going well. But the draw's a player. Don't get beat, give nothing away, and try and squeak it late. But I think a Chiefs Celtic final would be my call.
They eliminated Supersport. They eliminated
Yeah.
some decent teams, Platinum Stars.
Yeah.
Okay, Budge, time to get the money.
Exotics, yeah.
Right, let's have a look at your soccer 6 page.
Yeah,
Okay,
Paul,
run through this for me.
I've gone as much as I like Tottenham.
Yeah, you covered your bases.
Covered the base. I've gone the field with Arsenal, Tottenham. I've gone the field with Bidvest, Wits and Chiefs. As much as I like Tottenham and at Kaiser Chiefs, I think Liverpool will be too good for Southampton. Barcelona in great form. They'll be too good for Leganes. And Sevilla at home, great record. They'll be too good for Celta Vigo. And then the Madrid derby, you can handpick both teams out of form.
Yeah.
So we've gone 3 bankers, 3 fields, 162.
All right, then let's look at the next one.
Yeah, that's the Premiership one, Paul. I've taken a chance. There's always seems to be results coming after the international weekend. So if you spend 192, I've gone Bournemouth as much as I fancied them, win and draw against Huddersfield. Burnley win and draw at home against Swansea. Crystal Palace at home against Everton. Man City have thrown the draw and looking for an upset at
Sure,
Leicester.
that's
and
your-
Chelsea win and draw at West Brom. Bank at United. They look the best bet of the weekend. Obviously, if you want to bank your Man City, comes to 96. But, we can spend 200. So I've looked for a few draws to try and get a nice payout.
Okay, soccer 10.
Yeah, the 10, I've gone the field, Arsenal, Tottenham. Likewise, Wits and Chiefs. I've gone Bournemouth win and draw at home against Huddersfield. I've banked Burnley to beat Swansea. Likewise, Crystal Palace to beat Everton.
So who would have thought you'd be tipping Crystal Palace to win?
Just the way they played.
They're playing well.
Man City, banking Man City to beat Leicester. Likewise, Liverpool to beat Southampton. I've gone the field between Reading, who've won the last 2 games, beat Derby away the last
They've turned it around.
Yeah,
Yopstom's turned it around.
Wolves are top of the league, going well, so I put the field there. I've thrown the draw in West Brom, Chelsea, and I've banked United, 216.
Okie dokie, then the big one.
Yeah, I've got my usual 5 bankers with 8 fields. I've banked United. I've gone win and draw Bournemouth at Huddersfield. I've banked Burnley, Crystal Palace, Man City and Liverpool. I've gone Chelsea win and draw at West Brom. The last 6 are all championship games. I've gone Birmingham, who've kept it nice and tight the last few weeks against Nottingham Forest. I've gone Birmingham win and draw against Forest. Hull City win and draw against Ipswich. QPR, the last 2 home games, they beat Wolves and Sheffield United, the 2 top teams. John Terry's missing for Aston Villa.
What's happened to him?
He broke a bone in his foot, so he'll be out for another 6 weeks. So I've given QPR the nod against Aston Villa. I think Wolves, I think it'll be a draw, the Wolves-Reading game. I like Wolves of the 2 teams. Sheffield Wednesday on a bit of a roll against Bristol City. And I think Sunderland will finally get off the... I think they get a result.
Rudderless?
Rudderless, yeah. No manager, no wins, but this is their best chance against Millwall at home. Millwall's only scored 3 goals in the 7 away games. I think Sunderland got a squeak. 460, Paul.
All right, now the best part for me. Budgie's best bets.
Yeah, well, I've obviously had to take value. So I've gone Burnley to beat Swansea, likewise Crystal Palace to beat Everton, and both teams to score in the Leicester, Man City and Watford, West Ham games. 2,700 to 200.
Leicester, Man City. Man City will score.
Yeah. Leicester with Vardy and co, they'll give it a full go,
your
especially
championship
at home.
omelette?
I just think Sunderland will beat Millwall. The pressures on Millwall away from home are struggling. Millwall are at Leeds on Sunday. Leeds have lost 6 of the last 7. Good price, Middlesbrough to win. And I've gone both teams to score. Hull, Ipswich, and Sheffield Wednesday, Bristol City. 14-1 it worked out. 2,800 to 200. The Championship's the worst league in the world to call. So you've got to go for value.
Yeah, it's so tough. Right, let's look at the next 2 then.
It's over 2.5
these are my
miles.
favourites. These are my favourites.
I think United will finally get rid of the bus and
Will
he'll have a go.
Newcastle get a goal is the question.
Well, I think we'll win 3 or 4-0 here, Paul.
Okay,
but I think United will score 3 at least. So I've gone United, Newcastle, Watford, West Ham, Norwich, Barnsley, and Hull, Ipswich. 1,800 to 2. The win and draw, I don't see Spurs losing. I think Spurs win and draw against Arsenal. Kaizer Chiefs, I don't see losing to Wits. Likewise, Bloemfontein, Celtic against Polokwane. I think Derby, sorry Steve, will get a result at Fulham. And Marseille against Bordeaux. They haven't won in 24 meetings at Bordeaux.
So it's win or draw.
Win or draw.
Because
7-1.
There's some good games you got in there. Kaizer Chiefs, Bloomington, so they got in semi-finals.
They've all worked out around about 4.5, 5, 6 to 10, Paul.
Okay,
So you put them together, 7-1. This is good value for us,
All right, let's go to the Spanish omelette.
I've gone Barcelona. I looked at trying to... both halves to score -1 handicap. I thought, at the end of the day, let's just take them to win. They're playing Leganes on Saturday. Real Betis are playing Eibar. I've gone Real Betis to beat Eibar.
Leganes qualify. Barcelona and Real Betis
to win.
Must win.
Both must win.
Both teams to score.
Malaga and Deportivo La Coruña and Atletico Bilbao Villarreal. Those are both Sunday games. 2,200 to 200.
Collis King.
And the 6 on X. I've gone Crystal Palace to beat Everton. Barcelona to beat Leganes. Bayern Munich to beat Augsburg. Schalke to beat Hamburg SV. Napoli to beat AC Milan. And Inter Milan to beat Atalanta.
There we go. 2,900 to 2. Good football. Starts when? Early Saturday?
Saturday more,
Yeah, we got that. Right. Don't forget, get your bets on. I think there's 50-odd people left and last one standing. Get your bets on. Get them into Budge so we can all find out who's still going. It drops quickly from here on in. I'm telling you, at least 2/3 will drop out here because it's harder now, Budge.
Well, I think a lot of people can get a winner till Christmas. It's a Man United or Tottenham. Maybe we can take... Ernie's going to the Tottenham Man United game with me at the end of January. So if we get a few smacks, could get another winner.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And Ernie's still going.
Well, Ernie will be here at the Expo tomorrow night, so
Yeah,
we'll
we'll speak to
finalise everything for the trip. But
Okay.
he's got a lot to say lately.
Yeah, he's found his voice. But he's the best.
Oh, I've got to
He's
give
the
him
best.
credit.
He was
He's
the
the
last
last.
one standing. So make sure you get those bets. The last one standing is going very, very well. Thanks very much to Davgo. They're our sponsors on this, and we look forward to seeing you next week.